Jen Shah recently was sentenced to 6.5 years for wire fraud because, and I don't even have to say allegedly because she was already convicted, she ran a telemarketing scheme that cheated elderly people out of thousands of dollars. And she then used the money to fund her lavish lifestyle. So Jen Shah, so even going to prison for 6.5 years, she's also ordered to pay $6.6 million in restitution. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, Jen, that's a lot of highway cleaning you're gonna have to do. And I have to tell you, in this instance, I feel really bad for the elderly people because, you know, this is a whole nother level of wrong, you know, because the thing about it is I feel bad for elderly people because these scams are so real. You don't know who's on the phone and who's not real. And it's getting really, really bad because I remember somebody called me and they said, this is AOL and your bill is past due. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, wait a minute, is AOL, I thought AOL was free. I done whipped out my credit card. And they are getting really sophisticated with these scams now. And that's why I feel bad for elderly people, because it's gone beyond. Remember when people was like, I'm a Nigerian prince, I need you to loan me some money? Or you have your girlfriend somewhere like, oh my God, somebody stole my wallet, I need $75,000. Can you loan it to me? So, but I'm gonna tell you, John, Jen Shah is gonna have a rough time in jail. And I'm gonna tell you this, I know this firsthand because being in jail is no joke, because I went to jail for 8 days. And I'm gonna say, so y'all thought I was just a talk show host, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Don't get it twisted. Talk show hostesses have lives too, I'm telling y'all. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. I had $10,000 worth of unpaid moving violations. And the reason why it was $10,000, I feel very embarrassed. I was in this religion where they taught me that the world was gonna end, so I never paid my bills. I thought that the world was gonna come to an end, so I was like, well, why am I paying bills if the world gonna come to an end? And it still makes sense to me. But, you know, the world never came to an end, but I ended up in jail. And I'm gonna tell you, and the problem was I went to jail for so long because they arrested me because I had expired, my registration was expired for 2 years, so I kept getting these tickets for moving violation. And they took me to jail on Martin Luther King weekend. So every time, y'all, every time MLK weekend comes, I get triggered. And I'm telling you, Martin Luther King weekend is it next week, John?
It's Monday.
It's Monday. Monday. I already got the shakes right now. So the police stopped me. This is what I was wearing when the police had stopped me. I had this outfit on because I was on my way. I was on my way to the Comedy Store in Hollywood, so I used to wear these outrageous outfits. And so they ended up, because I had all of these unpaid bench warrants. When you don't show up to court, they issue a warrant for your arrest, and they were total $10,000. So they took me to a jail called Civil Brand Jail, which was a central holding area for about 2,000 women. And but before they took me there, they had me in the police station, and they chained me up to the bench. And I kept trying to communicate with my eyes to the guards that, you know, because they kept telling me not to talk, because I was trying to communicate, I am a legal secretary. I'm a legal secretary. I don't belong here. And then the officer screamed in my face. He was like, shut up! And then I looked around and I realized they chained me next to a bunch of prostitutes. And so I realized that me and the prostitutes was wearing the same outfit when they had me chained up to the bench. And then they took me to Civil Brand. It's civil because I had to go to all the different courts every day. So I was there 8 days. So I'm gonna tell you, Jen, let me tell you some of what you're gonna go through when you get there. When you get to jail, they're gonna make you, because I see you got breasts like me, they're gonna make you lift them up. They're gonna make you lift them up, and then, because I gotta make sure you don't have any drug paraphernalia under your breast, because I don't carry drug paraphernalia, but I carry a bunch of money right up underneath this is the bank of Sherri right here. And so they're gonna have you squat and cough to make sure you don't have any kind of paraphernalia in your body. And so I was in jail for the first time, and I was so scared, so I was making jokes to everybody, John. That was my defense mechanism, and I kept getting in trouble with the guards for making jokes. They didn't feed me like for a day. And they said, my worst nightmare is don't feed me. That's my worst nightmare. But they give you one phone call, Jen, when you're in there. You have one phone call, and I called my mother. And you know, you talk to your mother, and I was like, I'm in jail. You gotta get me out. And my mother wouldn't get me out. My sister jumped on the phone, and she goes, don't drop the soap. And I said, that's a man's prison. That ain't a woman's prison. My mother would not bail me out. She said I needed to learn my lesson. And I'm gonna tell you, when I was in jail, it was a girl who was cleaning. She was like an orderly. And she saw me crying because I was so hungry. And she asked me if I wanted some candy. So I said yes. She went to get me the candy, John. And there was another woman laying, because they had triple like bunk beds. And there was a woman laying in the bunk bed next to me. Her name is Shay. We became really good friends after this whole incident. But she was laying there, and she said, if you take that candy, you're gonna be her new girlfriend. That's what she said. And literally, of course I didn't take the candy. And then, so I made friends with Shay. She came to both my weddings, and so she did. She came to both my weddings. Shay did. Because and I remember she was a security guard, and she had gotten in some trouble. She had bench warrants too, so we became fast friends. But Shay used to say to everybody in the jail, she used to say, don't mess with Sherri, because Sherri gonna be somebody, but we all gonna be here for the rest of our lives. So she took care of me. But I'm gonna tell you, you got to watch your stuff, Jen, because when I was in Civil Brand, they give you one pair of underwear, they give you a little comb to comb your hair, a packet of deodorant, and you have to wash your underwear every night and put them over your bunk bed, because they only give you one pair, and they give you a little moo-moo that says Civil Brand jail. So I used to wash them, lay them over my panties over the bunk bed, and I woke up one morning and the panties was gone. Somebody took them panties while I was sleeping. I'm not lying, because they do that. And you, look, this ain't going to no school. And I went, and so everybody was trying to instigate, and all these women came up to me and they said, Big Mama got your panties. So I'm sitting here going, I'm not a fighter. I don't like to fight. But I had to march over there to Big Mama. It was all of these women behind me. And I remember, I went, excuse me, I had some underwear laying over my bunk bed. Would you happen to have seen my underwear? And I'm looking at 2 pairs of underwear hanging on her bunk bed. I saw them, and I said, did you happen to see another pair of underwear? And she was like, no, I ain't seen no underwear. Now I'm leaving out all the curse words that she said to me. And I said, okay, and I walked away. So for 6 days, I had to go to all the courts. I didn't have no daggone underwear, because she took my daggone underwear. And I was only in there for parking tickets, okay? I'm in there with hardened criminals, and I'm just trying to communicate with people. I'm a legal secretary. I don't belong in here. And I'm telling you, y'all have to come see me do stand-up, because this everything I went through in jail. But when I finally got released, they let you out, because I had gone to every court, so I took care of the warrants. They let you out. Oh, another thing was, you know those prison buses that ride past you when you're on the freeway? Every time I went to court, they had to put me in the prison bus, and they would chain me up. So people would go by the prison buses. And I'm gonna tell y'all, when y'all go past them prison buses, wave to the people in the doggone bus. You can wave. Because I was on one of those buses, and they had chained me up because I had to go to court, and I kept trying to look out the windows. I was looking at anybody, just say hi to me. And everybody kept driving like this. They wouldn't even look in the bus. So the next time you see one of them jail buses, just wave. Somebody might be in there that might be a talk show host who might just need a little love. But they let me out of jail at 2 in the morning. They don't give you no money. They let me out at 2 in the morning. So I was a struggling comic back then. And I called everybody I knew, every comic I knew, to come and pick me up. And there was another struggling comic that I was close to. His name was Jamie Foxx. And back then, when that happened, there were no cell phones, there were no pagers or anything like that. You called on a payphone and answer machines came on. And so I was on Jamie's answer machine, like, Jamie, I know you can hear me. Come pick me up. Please come pick me up. And he never picked up the phone. So none of my friends. So I had to get a bus to get home. But I learned a lesson about paying my bills from going to jail for 8 days. I'm not late paying nothing. I pay everything on time. I'm never late. So, Jen, I'm saying to you good luck, because it's going to be, 6 years is going to be hard time, girl.